How do we get one of those?
No.
We get lots of those.
You can go to Hiddur.org or you can go to sacredseasons.org and you can download the kits, the printed material for free, and the accompanying CD recording you can order for $5 shipping and handling. I will tell you that we're learning, we have been in the process of disseminating this resource since April, since Pesach, and what we're learning is that probably the idea that a non-Jewish person is going to go to the web, download this, and lead a celebration without any contact with somebody from the Jewish community is a little ambitious. But with a personal introduction, for those of us who have congregants and facilities and might want to make something happen for when we're not around, to be able to hand this resource to somebody and walk them through it, I do think that that's realistic. And over Hanukkah, we observed celebrations in 4 different facilities in Philadelphia. Most of them had a Jewish person involved in leading, either a resident or a volunteer, but one of them had a non-Jewish staff member who was taking the lead in leading it. There was a Jewish staff person who was there who was not actually at the heart of the leading the celebration. So I am happy to share this resource with you, to share with families who might have somebody in an institution and want them to be able to have a Jewish life. A well-meaning Jewish layperson for sure could use this to lead, because you say, okay, and now you're going to sing Lecha Dodi, and you press track 1, and there it is. And you point people to look at song number 3 or whatever it is on your handout. There it is. Okay. Third part of our model of wholeness in engaging elders is the need to contribute. And one more text. I keep covering up the text. That's not a good metaphor. I think I wrote something wrong. Ben shishim le'etza? No, ben chamishim le'etza, right? Ben chamishim le'etza. I actually copied incorrectly, excuse me. So, Ben Chamishim Le'etza, according to Bartanura, Nilmad Miliviim, She'amra Torah, Mi Ben Chamishim Shana, Yashuv Mitzvah Ha'avoda, Velo Ya'avod Od, V'sheret Et Achiv. Mahu HaSherut, She'yitein Lehem Etza. So, what's the job of the elder? Assuming a model where you actually have the financial well-being to be able to retire, then your job is to give counsel. Your job is to contribute based on what you've acquired in your lifetime. What can you contribute? Wisdom. In the running of community, continuing to exercise leadership, to share memories of how we got here. And again, obviously, there's that tension about raising up new leaders and honoring the elders. I learned a really interesting concept in the tradition that I hadn't known when I went to teach a class on aging and Jewish thought and text, called the Zaken Mamre, the rebellious elder. So we actually have within our tradition a notion that an elder is not always a beautiful thing. An elder can be caught in that challenge between controllability and flexibility. But nonetheless, we need to figure out ways to honor the contribution and wisdom of elders. And I promised that I would share with you today the program that I had the great pleasure to be part of at Kehilat Israel in Pacific Palisades on Sunday, where for the first time ever they had an event honoring their elders. And they gave awards to 2 couples who were Bonei Kehilah. And those are very early members of the congregation who'd been involved, and in one case been presidents of the congregation. And out to this event came 130 people. They closed it at 130, who were a cohort that had not been seen in this congregation other than high holidays for years. And interestingly, not just those 2 couples who got honored felt honored, but all of the elders felt honored to have their peers acknowledged and their contribution to the community acknowledged. Elders can contribute energy and talent and time. You've probably been hearing about the civic engagement movement, the notion of really rethinking retirement to be about civic engagement and contributing what Mark Friedman in San Francisco calls social capital. There's a new prize of $100,000 called I think it's called the Promise Prize or something, for someone who's 60 plus who's making a difference in the world, who's doing some new social initiative. So if you know anybody, you can nominate them. But we need, as a Jewish community, to think about volunteerism and elders in a really different way. Because this is not your father's Zeta, we're going to need to think about volunteer opportunities that work with the lives of people that are currently and coming to be older. So remember the guy who's the skier or the traveler? Is he going to sign up for a volunteer position that's, once a week for 2 hours? Probably not, because he's going to be going skiing and he's going to be traveling. He's going to need a volunteer opportunity that's flexible. And this guy's a retired executive. Is he going to want to work in the office? Probably not. Is he going to want to learn a new skill? Perhaps. Is he going to want to contribute, perhaps, what he's learned in his career in the running of the shul or in the business end of the shul or in mentoring younger people? Maybe. But there is a whole field of endeavor about civic engagement in elders that's trying to learn what kinds of experiences will be appealing in volunteerism for the new cohorts of elders. And I hope that we as a community can harness some of that knowledge. And of course, no matter how old and no matter how frail you are, you can give blessing. And it's been my great privilege to notice that as we accompany those who are more frail, the currency that they do have to contribute is their words of blessing and their kavanah of blessing. So that's on the end of contributing. I want to say another word about Gemilut Chesed from the receiving end. I don't emphasize that because I figure this is the pshita, this is the part that we all sort of intuitively know. But the companioning that we want to do with people across the experiences of later life is about helping them to deepen spiritually in the face of the challenges that we mentioned earlier, in the face of retiring oneself and redefining oneself in retirement, in the face of life review, in ethical discernment for the wrenching dilemmas of caregiving. And I bet there's not one of us in this room who hasn't encountered those dilemmas personally or professionally or both. And in helping people to face their mortality and in helping them to articulate their legacy for the generations to come. Now, I don't know what you think, but I know that I didn't learn very much in rabbinical school about accompanying people through these passages and these treacherous shoals of later life. So it's my hope that we will all grow and deepen and continue to learn about these tasks and learn from the elders and the families we accompany about how to be maximally helpful spiritual companions in the face of that. So if we attend to the profound spiritual needs and gifts of our growing ranks of elders, well and frail, we can answer the question, Mi vami haholchim, as Moshe did. And he said, Bin arenu uvizkenenu nelech. We're not going to just go with the ne'arim. We're going to go with that weave of the generations joined together. And if we do that, we can realize the vision of the Torah, lifnei seva takom. Get up and notice there's aging happening. V'hadarta Pnai Zaken, and bring splendor to the face of aging.